Welcome back to our Big Trust YouTube channel. In today's class, we're going to learn how to make this beautiful deep plunging cowl neckline. It's a very simple DIY tutorial. It's simple and it's very beginner friendly. So this is what the front looks like. You can see how deep the cowl is. It has like a strap to tie it on the neckline area. This is what it looks like on the side, and then for the back it is backless, and then the back has like an elastic here. So this is the rope. You can tie it on your neckline as make it as long as you want. So I'm going to take you through how I was able to cut and sew this in this class. If this is something you like to learn, kindly stay tuned to the end of this tutorial. Thank you. So for this cowl neck, you don't need so much measurement. What you first need is how deep you want your cowl to be, and to get that, I'm going to measure it on your neckline just like this. Okay, so you determine how deep you want it to be. Wherever it is that you want it to be, that's what you're going to take. So I have around 34 inches here. This is on the mannequin, so you can measure that on your body, and where it is that you want it to be on your body is where you're going to leave it. So you just measure like this. So once you have that measurement, the next measurement is going to be the length of the top. So you measure how long you want your top to be. Again, this is on the mannequin as well. It may not be your actual body measurement. So wherever it is on the mannequin, those are the two measurements you need: the depth of the cowl and the full length of the top. Okay, so this is my fabric. You don't need so much fabric for this. I didn't use up to 1 yard. So now the depth of my cowl, you can see for the depth of my cowl I have about 35 inches here. What I measured was 34. I just added 1 inch allowance, so I have 35. And then for the length of my blouse, of my top, I have 26 inches here. For the length of the top, you can see that's 26 inches. So basically what you want to do, this is the 34 inches for the cowl, and this is the 26 inches. So what you are doing is just taking your cowl like this. I hope you understand that. Okay, so the length of the 30, this is the 34 inches, so the length of each of the 34 inches is going to be like this to form the outer neck that you have here. So it's just going to drop down, and this is going to be your outer neck. So for the outer neck, you are going to use your, you will use your chest line as a guide. My chest line is 9 inches. So from where it stops, remember, this is the, these are the two tips for your, for the 34 inches. These are the two tips. So now from there, let me just put it on full so that it can be smaller. So this is the length, 26 inches. On the side of the length, that's where you're going to take your armhole measurement. So here I'm taking 9 inches. You can increase it depending on what you want. You can also take it to your mannequin to see how it will look like. So from this 26 inches now, I'm marking my chest line, and that is 9 inches for me. So I'm going to notch where that 9 inches is. So that's going to be my chest line. So from there, you are going to mark what you have to form the length for your back. So here now I have around 16 and a half, thereabouts. That's going to be the length for my back. So this is the back. This is the back. But remember, we are going to have an elastic at the back, so you need to include the casing that you're going to create for your elastic. So here you're going to have 16 and a half, which is your actual length, and then depending on the width of your elastic, you're going to add the allowance for the elastic as well. So let's say I'm adding maybe 1 inch for my elastic, so that's going to be 17 and a half, or I can just leave it as 18 inches. So I'm going to cut off the excess that I have there. So I've cut it out. The length is now the length that you marked. That's around 16 inches plus the allowance that you're going to need for your casing. That's the length. And then for the width, you're going to work with your hip measurement. So if your hip measurement, you can add maybe 1 or 2 inches to it to have to, so that it will not be too tight, depending on what you want. Basically the hip measurement I'm working with is 11 inches. You can see that I have 13 inches here. So that is the length for the back. The length is what you have left after notching your shoulder here. Okay, After notching your armhole, that's the length, and then the width is your hip measurement plus 2 or 3 inches. So what I'm going to do now is to go ahead on the width here. Okay, on the width, the hip measurements, I'm going to go ahead and fold like this to create casing for my elastic, and then I'm going to sew. That's for the back. For the front, you are going to use a bias to pipe it. So for the front, you're going to use a bias to pipe it. So where you notched here, you're going to create like a bias with your fabric. I have done mine. So from where I stopped, from where I notched it here, I'm just going to simply slot it in between like this, and then I'm going to sew. But before you do that, you need this part that is going to drop. That's the 34 inches. You need it to be neat. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it like this all around. You're going to fold it and turn all around, and you're going to leave the sides to turn later. So now let me just take it one step at a time. I'm going to go ahead and fold this in. I'm going to create casing for the back as well, and then bring it back to show us what we have. Okay, so this is what we have. I have gone ahead to turn it, and I inserted my elastic. So the measurement I used for this elastic is my chest, across chest. That's from one armhole to another. For me, that's 12 inches, so I deducted 10 inches from it. You can see, so I have around 10 inches, and when you stretch it, it stretches out. So this is what the back looks like, and this is the front. So for the front as well, that 34 inches, that part that is going to drop down, I have gone ahead to hem it so that it can be nice like this. So this is where the armhole is going to be. I used 9 inches for mine. Okay, you can make yours more or less. So the 9 inches I've reduced, so I'm just going to place it here now. So you can make yours or less depending on how you want yours to be. So what I'm going to do now is to go ahead and place my bias on that 9 inches. So you're going to open it up and place it on this 9 inches and close it, and then you're going to sew. So once you sew it, you're going to sew the rest as well. You can see the bias, I cut out 2 inches, and then I folded in half an inch on each side, then I folded again. So you're going to sew it. You're going to do the same thing for this other side. Where you notched, you're going to make the second bias. You will slot it inside like this, and then you sew that upwards as well. That's where we're going to tie it. So I'll do that now. Okay, so you can see now that I have placed this like this, but if you don't want it to be too tight on the armhole, please, you can add 2 or 3 inches to your 9 inches measurement. Okay, I'm just going to use this 9 inches and see what it gives me. So if I don't like it, I may need to increase it, but I recommend that you add extra inches to it so that it's not going to be tight on the armhole area. But I don't want it to be exposing the bust, so that's why I don't want it too long as well. So this is what you are going to have by the time you are done. You can see this 34 inches part is going to drop to form your cowl, and this is the neckline area. You can see it's like an outer neckline, and you're going to tie the rest. So now this your back, you're going to bring it, and then you're going to sew it to the rest of the bodies. That's after you have done your this thing on the second side as well. You're going to sew it to the side, and then you hem the lower part, and your blouse is ready. So you can see how simple it is to make this. Okay, so I have gone ahead to join it. You can see, so I've sewn it by the side. You just need to weave off the rough edges so you can see what it looks like now. So you join it where your armhole stops, which is here. You do the same thing on the other side as well, and this is what you're going to have. So after that, you're going to hem the lower part. You can see that I have neatly hemmed the lower part as well. So when you turn it, this is what you're going to have. This is the back, you can see, gathered with elastic, and this is the front. So once you tie the front on the neckline, the cowl is going to drop like this. So I'm going to take it to the mannequin now so that we can see what this looks like. So this is what the blouse looks like. You can see all the cowl that we formed here. So at the center here, if you want, you can just stack it just so that your bust will not be showing, but if not, you can use your hand to break them together like this. So this is what it looks like. You can see the neckline that we have as well. So this is what it looks like on the side. You can see the side, so you're going to iron it so that it can lay well. And this is what the back looks like with the elastic. And you're just going to tie your rope. You can make it as long as you want. So what I was explaining, if you want yours to be wider on the armhole area, you can extend this, but I don't want it to be showing the boobs. That's why I just use 9 inches. So you can experiment with what you want, and you can also adjust that with your rope as well. I hope you enjoyed making this beautiful tutorial with me. If you enjoyed it, let us know in the comment section. Like, comment and subscribe to our channel, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.